Hello, dear friends, and welcome back to Great or Bait, the greatest yapping session on YouTube. I might start changing it up because I realize just how redundant this cringy ass intro is. So yeah, this is episode 9. Like usual, I'm gonna cover two suggested cars by you guys in the comments. Very, um, yeah, very the cars of all time today. All I'm gonna say. Um, had fun though. Had fun testing them as usual. So I guess I'll start with the first one here, which definitely hasn't been requested one too many times, as you can see, and that's the Baja Bone Shake. Now, I wanted to initially think this is gonna be the worst car that I will ever test, and I wasn't far off. Definitely, it is awful in every single way, and I'm pretty sure uh, DJ who sent me this car, he suggested me this car, knew very well that it would suck balls, and it does. And here it does a 139, and the next one is a 140, which obviously is awful. This car is absolutely horrendous. Oh yeah, I hit my two best runs back to back here. I thought might as well leave that in. But yeah, I did test this car for about an hour, like all the other ones. I was getting like low to mid 130s at the start. So this, trust me, this isn't a terrible run. It's like it's all right. So yeah, no, this car is absolutely ass. At the moment you go 90 degrees, it's over. It spins out. There's no control over it. The tires are terrible. Yeah, I can't really do much to save it. I just can't. So let's just move on. Um, yeah, it's not fast either. It has fuck. It has the Funko Swap engine, so it has a fuck ton of power. The 1,750 horsepower engine, and it also has a drag coefficient of a fucking garbage can. So I mean, 417 I think is all I was able to do here. So yeah, 3 out of 10. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is a new personal best for me and for Travis, who had the balls to test this for me, because I believe this is now officially the slowest car. In terms of acceleration, because it was actually slower than the LM002 that Mars suggested a couple weeks ago, and for that reason, it's getting the same grade of 1.5 out of 10. Just ugh. Okay. I was gonna imagine that this is where it's the worst at, and it is pretty much. It's an unbelievably slow car, and keep in mind this is with the lightest engine and the lightest possible modifications, and it still produced I think a C class or a B class time or something like that. I don't know. It was just ridiculously bad. It might be the worst, the slowest car I've tested so far. I'm gonna have to check, but it's very close. But it is overall like it's just stupid. And as you can tell, I didn't really test it for much. I think I did like 5 laps, and this here being the third was the best one. I genuinely don't see why I need to bother anymore with this. It is irredeemable. It just sucks. So yeah, straight 1 out of 10 for a 58.7. Um, I know some people use this in like B class because apparently it's not too bad in B class for off road, and I can kind of see that maybe, but I don't know, man. Maxed out its ass. I mean, most cars are not supposed to be good for this. Like as you can notice, the hypercars are gonna be very good at dirt in general, and this is the furthest cry from a hypercar. Um, but hey, I mean, I guess I've had worse times than this, so it's not the absolute worst at everything. I guess besides acceleration. I guess there are worse cars than this for every other category, maybe. I might have to triple check after this, after hitting this. But yeah, no, it's terrible. Like it's doing, I don't know. I tested the Sesto last time, and this thing is like 15 whole seconds slower. It's just not good. And I'm gonna slow down the timer here just so you can tell exactly how much it got because my best was flagged. So yeah, uh, can't really give it more than that. So there it is. It scored 10.5 out of 50, aka a 2.1 out of 10. I hope you're satisfied, DJ. I'm not covering any more of these bullshit suggestions. I mean, I'm kidding. I will. They're fun. The drifting part was ridiculously fun at towards the end because the car just wouldn't cooperate. But yeah, I don't know. It was fun. Um, but with that being said, let's move on to the next one, which is the Holden Tirana, suggested by I believe Tenham. I'm gonna put it up on the screen. This car is actually all right. In fact, for drifting, it's actually pretty damn good. So this is one of my earlier runs, and I'm not sure if I was helped by the rain here or not. I feel like I maybe wasn't, to be honest, but oh, that was so good. That corner there. But yeah, this car gets pretty good angle. The transitions are quick. It's got a pretty all right amount of power. It's not bad. It's definitely above the average. It's it's a very oversteer based car. You're not gonna have issues oversteering with this. Now I feel like maybe I also built my setup here for oversteer a little bit because I think I went for 165 ARBs in this clip. I don't remember. I don't really save my setups. But yeah, no, it was great. I also got a pretty decent run as well. Not a lot of mistakes. So yeah, 8 out of 10 for the 143 and a half. Very good. Very solid. Now, this is where I hit a little bit of a roadblock because I finally got to test a car that I that I believe reached what I would call the average top speed of a car in this game. Not really, because this car reached 430. That's 267 or 268. It is all right. It's all right, but it's just a bit below the average. So I can't really give it a 5. So there you go, 4.5. It isn't particularly quick, unfortunately. I know it's pretty quick for B class, but maxed out I think it's S1. So it's not particularly quick, unfortunately, but again, it is what it is. 4 out of 10 is respectable, I guess. I don't know. It's also, like I said earlier, very oversteer based, and I tried to like control some of that in my attempts here. I I couldn't really. It's not a good car, is all I'm gonna say. It's not a particularly good car for this. I I I did go for like so whenever I test these, I go for the lightest engine. I go for the lightest, possible modifications in general. But this car is just, man, I don't know. It's so oversteer based that I'm trying to yap my way around it, but it is just no way to put on the fact that it's pretty bad. So I'm sure I'm sure most of you know this is pretty good as a power build in B class, if I remember correctly. And because it is used, and I know it used to hold a couple of world records. I don't know if it still does. Maybe it does. I'm gonna have to check, but I know for a fact it is very good. And power builds in general do not really correlate much with grip, but I do use the world record spreadsheets for as an influence for the grades that I give these cars. So I'm gonna bump this one up by a little bit. I'm not even sure what I'm gonna give it yet. Like I haven't finished editing this video, not gonna lie. So you're gonna see the grade on the screen now, but I'll have to check what it is later. And okay, in terms of off-road, actually, this is definitely this car's strongest point. Okay, besides drifting, it's actually pretty amazing for drifting. But other than drifting, it's actually not too bad off-road, and I'm gonna tell you exactly why. It's because, like I said earlier, it's a very oversteer-based car. It's old. It's got those funny little, not very grippy tires, which means it's very, very happy to slide around. And as a result, because it puts out a pretty decent amount of power and the acceleration is, it is, just, yeah. It actually did somewhat well. I believe it came very short of the Supra, which I tested ages and ages ago in my first video, which is now like, dude, like almost 2 months now, right? Yeah, holy shit. But yeah, it actually did all right as far as I'm concerned. So a 6 out of 10, not too bad. And there they are. The Tirana got a 26.5 out of 50, I believe. If we consider that I would give it a 4 out of 10 in terms of grip. So yeah, overall 5.3 out of 10. It's an average score. It's just what it is. It's a pretty niche car. It's good for two things and pretty mediocre, I guess, about below average with the others. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.